welcome back to NKay Solutions. My name is Kendall, and I help teach women take their vision to community change so that they can change lives and produce purpose. I am so honored to have you all here today because we are starting the foundation series of what I believe you need in order to start and sustain your community organization. This is based off of my 10 questions framework workbook, which you can receive completely free at the link below that helps you take your vision from your head and put it down on paper. I believe that this is so very important when we set aside to do anything, whether it be complete a goal, whether it be to get a project done, or as big as starting a community organization. Today, I'm going to go through each one of those 10 questions and why they are important. And then from there, our series of this 10 questions framework will start. And I'm hoping that it will give you enough tenacity, enough empowerment, and enough power to go out there and make a difference and start your own community organization. These are the 10 questions that we are going to talk about, and we're going to go through each and every one of them. We're going to talk about what usually keeps us from starting a community organization. We're going to go through those foundation questions, and then I'm going to offer an opportunity for you guys to get started if you need additional help, if you would like. To learn a little bit more about me and why I am so passionate about helping people start community organizations is because I benefited from a community organization myself, and I had absolutely no idea that I was going to benefit so much from this organization. I started out as an employee, and I remained an employee there, but being a part of that group not only healed and helped me so much through a lot that I was going through, but I also understood and found the importance of having a community. When they say it takes a village, it does take a village. And I believe we have lost that so much in our community these days where people, they just don't trust anymore. They just don't reach out and ask for help anymore. We tend to stay to ourselves and keep, things secret to amongst ourselves, which has caused a lot of rippling effects in our communities. And because of that, that's probably why a lot of you want to start your own community organization. So let's go into what is a community organization, right? An organization is an organized body of people with a particular purpose. Now, that purpose can be whatever. It could be a support group to help people that are suffering through cancer. It could be about domestic violence. It could be what I was a part of, where it was women supporting women. It could be about making sure that the trees stay in the forest and not cut down. Organization is just an organized body of people with a particular purpose. And that organization can be in anything. It can be in form of a nonprofit. It can be in the form of a ministry. It could be in form of a block club or a social enterprise or a support group. There are many different entities that go into what an organization can be composed of. If you want to know the 3 most common organizations that people start, I encourage you to check out my previous YouTube video where I go in and I break down each one of those kind of community organizations. Now, let's get into why people start a community organization. Organizations are often started from someone's personal experience or their story or what they're seeing in their community or a particular area where they feel a change needs to be made. And you know what? You got that right. Someone needs that organization, someone needs that story, someone needs that resource, somebody needs that support, or something needs that story, resource, or support organization that you want to give. I bet each and every one of you who are watching this video, you wouldn't be watching this video if you didn't have a desire to start something. And you have that desire to start something not because it's some dream that will never fruition, or not because it's just a passion inside of your heart. No, it's your purpose. It is the seed that God planted inside of you so that you are able to move forward with what you want to do to help somebody or something else out there. And there is a need for it. I strive to help you take that seed and let it blossom. And I truly believe with these 10 questions that you will be able to take that seed from your heart, write it down on paper so that you can see what this looks like, and you can begin those action steps to take that vision to community change. And when we take that vision to community change, what are we doing? We're changing lives, and when we change lives, we produce purpose. That is my solemn goal. So let's start breaking down those 10 questions. The number one question is, what is your why? And in your why, there's usually a story. Remember, I told you a lot of organizations start from, somebody else's story or something that somebody has been a part of. For me, my story was I always wanted to be an OBGYN, right? That's what I set out to be. But as you can see, I'm not nobody's doctor. But I still had the desire to work with pregnant moms, still had the desire to help mothers through that experience. And more than anything, I had became a mom and knew what it was like to not have the emotional support that I needed, not know where to get resources that I needed for myself and my children. And because of that, that story led me to go to that organization. Initially, I was going to that organization to work, like I said, but I found that being a part of that organization, it gave me the emotional support that I needed, it gave me the confidence that I needed, and it also gave me what I needed to be able to pull out the gifts and strengths that God had given me to help and bless somebody else. For a long time, I didn't think I had that. For a long time, I was just this depressed individual who made a lot of mistakes and who would never ever become anything because I didn't become, quote unquote, Dr. K, right? So I truly felt like I was nothing. But being a part of that organization, I walked away from there not only knowing that I was somebody, but this somebody can do something for somebody else. And so that's my story. And that is the reason why I set out to help people like yourselves. Not only do I have the passion for it, but I got the knowledge and skills for it too. And if you stick around, you'll be able to see that. So the first question is, what is your why? And this is very important because you're going to often need to hone in on what's your reason why you decided to start your organization so that you can keep going. Because you're going to experience obstacles along the way. This is a journey, okay? This is not a sprint, it's a marathon. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to have to keep reflecting on why you decided to start this organization in the first place, whether it's a nonprofit, a ministry, a social support group, whatever, so that you can keep going. The next question is, what problem does your organization solve? This is very important because whatever the problem is that your organization solves is the reason why people are going to be coming to you. Now we're going to get a little bit more into that, but for example, for this instance, for the organization I work for, the problem was there was increased rate of postpartum depression, babies dying before age 1, moms having substantial unfortunate health conditions and risks during birth and after, and sometimes death. And we wanted to make sure that we were a part of making sure that that didn't happen. So that was the problem that we were seeking to solve within that organization. Number three, once you know the problem that you seek to solve within your organization, you got to have a plan. That's period. You have got to have a plan, and often it is called a strategic plan when you have like a organization that's a nonprofit or a social enterprise. They usually call them a strategic plan, but really, you just need to have a plan. You need to have a plan on how you're going to execute solving this issue. And that can be in many different ways. Number four, who supports your vision? There are going to be times where you need somebody that's in your corner that not only understands your vision, but can also support you. If you have a nonprofit, often that looks like your board of directors. They are the people that have the same mission, vision, and values that you do, or at least support you in what you're trying to do and are on board. For community organizations, that might be volunteers and helpers. For a ministry, that may be your congregation, your family, and friends. Your support system looks different. For me, when I was in the organization, my support system was my colleagues, and they were the ones that were truly there to lift me up and to keep me going, to hold me accountable, to allow me to stay on track of the vision that I had for myself. And so that is very, very important. You want to make sure that whoever you have as your right and left hand are people that are truly people that support you and that are going to keep you on the narrow with your vision. There are reasons why I say that, but we'll get more into that a little bit later. Number five, what resource does your community desire? Now, this is important because sometimes we may go into a community and we might think or we may believe that, okay, we want to do X, Y, and Z. Like, we really wanted to make sure that our moms had a doctor, whether it be an OBGYN or a midwife. We wanted to make sure that our moms were getting to their doctor's appointments. We wanted to make sure that if our moms needed any resources, they had them that could support them throughout his pregnancy and afterward. We wanted to make sure that they had a healthy delivery, and we wanted to make sure that they had the support they needed after they had their baby. Because of the particular community that we worked in, a lot of times our moms were not thinking about a healthy pregnancy. And I'm not talking about eating right. I'm talking about things that would eliminate stress. And for them, things that would eliminate stress was making sure they had a bed for the baby to sleep in, making sure that they were going to have formula so that they could feed their baby, making sure that they had a roof over their head because maybe something happened and now they don't have a place to stay. These were the things that were on the forefront of our baby's minds. Our mother's minds. How I'm going to feed my baby, how I'm going to put some diapers on my child, and where's my child going to sleep. Those were the three most important things that a lot of them were thinking about. They're not thinking about getting to and from their doctor's appointment for every single doctor's appointment. If they go to their doctor's appointment that day and they don't have food in their own refrigerator, then they are not thinking about trying to get to the doctor's appointment on time. No, they're not thinking about that. That's not important. What's important is getting food in that refrigerator today so they can feed themselves and the baby inside of them, and then anybody else that might be in that family that may need to eat too. So, a lot of times, you have to know the needs of the community so that you can pull them in and offer what they truly need. And that goes into question number 6. What resource does your organization provide? Our organization provided a lot of stuff, a lot of education, a lot of affordability to get to and from their doctor's appointments. It allowed them to be able to have access to our safe sleep class and our breastfeeding classes. These are wonderful things that could help them. We wanted to make sure that we knew the needs of the community and to provide those needs of the community so that we can then offer what we really knew would help them solve our main vision, our why, our story, right? So sometimes you do have to do that. Number 7. Number 7 is, how will you fund your organization? Now, your organization can be funded through grants, which that's usually offered to the nonprofits, fundraisers, donations, out of pocket. I know a organization right now where this woman is grinding extremely hard in her own personal business and putting funding from her own personal business into a bank account so that she can start her own nonprofit. If that's what you choose to do, you can do that too. You can sell merchandise, whether it be t-shirts, hats, coffee mugs, keychains, whatever. You can do that. Or you can sell services. And when I say sell services, I mean it could be a service that you're good at. Maybe you want to use a portion of that to go towards funding your organization. You can do that. There are many different ways that you can fund your organization. Number 8. Do you know what a quarterly analysis is? Ooh, you're probably like, what? A quarterly analysis? This is where you sit back and assess if your work that you have produced, the work that you produced has given the outcome that you seek to accomplish. And whether it's a yes or no, there are going to be things that you need to tweak within your organization. So once you find your organization and you find that one resource that you are going to provide, I would say within the next 3 months, you need to be doubling back and looking at, hey, is this working? Is it not working? If it is working, great. What are we doing to make it work? And can we add on to the services that we offer? If it's not working, I want you to look at why it's not working and to figure out what you can do to pivot or change so that you can start accomplishing what you set out to accomplish. And sometimes that means you have to go back to some of those questions like, what does your community desire? What does the community want that is connected to what you want to provide that will eventually bring you to the vision that you want to see within your organization? Number 9, do you know when to ask for help? A closed mouth doesn't get fed. That's on period. If you don't ask for help when you need it, then I have seen a lot of people get overwhelmed and they just give up. And they leave it to the wayside that they're not even going to try with their organization anymore. And I think that is the worst place to find yourself, where you are ready to literally give up on the seed that got planted. You've done the soil, you've teeded the soil, you've watered it, you see a little sprout, but because it's not this big tree, you start to give up. Sometimes what we have set out to do, by the time it's 6 months, we should have been able to see some progress. If you haven't seen any progress, you haven't offered anything, you've got these things down on paper, but you haven't moved, sometimes you might need a little bit of help. And don't feel bad to seek help in trying to get to the next step. No matter how big you get as a community organization, you are still going to need some assistance. Please believe me, United Way still asks for help. Even if it's hiring more people because they've got more resources and things that they need to connect people to, they ask for help. They're not afraid. And United Way 201 is all over the world, all over United States. Don't be afraid to ask for help. And last but not least, the most important person you should be asking help from, if you don't know, now you know, is God. Is God the center of your organization? I think that this is so very important. And the reason why I say that is because that seed that was planted inside of you wasn't just planted inside of you because you put it there. You don't know. There are desires, there are things that God, when He knitted us in our mother's womb, that He knew was going to be a part of our genetics, our nature, of what we were going to gravitate to, what we were going to want to do, because He has a mission for you to take that seed and to serve other people with that. That is very important. Our community organization should glorify God. The vision for our community organization is met for the person on the other side. That is very important. You're not just creating an organization because you want to have your name on a building. You're creating an organization because you want to serve people, or you want to serve something. Everything is not always about people. Maybe you want to serve animals. Maybe you want to serve the nature. Maybe you want to make sure that the sky stays unpolluted. Whatever it is, God placed that desire inside of you so that it can flourish. And so that vision can be seen forward, because He has a purpose for that particular vision. It doesn't matter if somebody else is doing it already. Who said it only has to be one? Who said there only had to be 100? Why can't it be 101? The more the merrier. Because when I tell you, when you have nobody else to turn to, He's always there. And He's going to help you be able to make sure that each one of these questions we went through today, you have the right answer to. And I say that to say, please don't sit on your vision. Somebody out there needs your story. They need your resource. They need your support. They need your community organization. They need whatever it is that you have to give. Don't let it just stay up in here. Because if it stays here, then it never touches anybody. Then it never comes out. Then it never helps another kindle. If the woman who created the organization that I'm talking about, she never would have started, I cannot tell you if I would be here in front of you today. I couldn't tell you if I would have had the confidence to do this right now. I couldn't tell you if I would have known that I'm fearfully and wonderfully made, or I couldn't tell you if I would have even been able to be brought to Christ if it wasn't for her and her starting that organization. No, the organization wasn't a Christian organization. It doesn't have to be. That changed my life. There were many different people that worked in that organization. There were Christians, there were Muslims, there were atheists, there were people, that believed in other things. But the basis of each and every one of us was the heart. and our heart to care and help others. And since we cared and wanted to help the moms that we serve, we cared and we wanted to help the employees that were helping these moms. And I just so happened to be one of them. So think if she would have never started taking her vision, then we wouldn't have the community change that we have right now. So I say that to say, let me help you. Let me be of assistance to you. I have my free 10 questions framework workbook that is a great way to take all of those questions, put them down on paper, and help you move forward with at least getting started or at least letting you see what you do and don't know, and then seeking out the help so that you can inch forward. The next thing I am going to be offering soon is a mini course on how you can start your organization in just one day. Literally, it doesn't take all of that. It really don't. A lot of people truly just overcompensate. They overthink. They do a lot of overthinking, and then they never end up starting. How do I know? It was me. It was me. I did a lot of overthinking for 15 years and I never started my organization. I'm getting ready to start my nonprofit, and I ran from that too, which you guys will learn from. But I'm getting ready to start my own nonprofit organization. And you guys are going to see that journey right here on this channel. There's some vlogs that I'm going to be doing. But I'm going to be using these same questions, these same principles, these same one-day method that I'm going to show you. I'm going to be using them for myself. Why? Because I know they work. I've helped several people be able to start and sustain an organization with these 10 foundation questions. I have been able to help people start organizations in literally just one day with my one-day method that I will be teaching in this mini course. And if you don't believe me what I did for other people, you'll be able to see it right here with me. Subscribe to the channel and you'll be able to see me walk through and start my own organization. We are going to do this together. We're no longer going to allow our thoughts and our visions to just stay in our heads. We are going to take them to the next level. If you want to do this with me, you can connect down with me in the comment section below. You can send me a DM on Instagram. Instagram is NKay Solutions. You can go to my website. You can sign up for my free 10 questions framework workbook that can help you get those questions out your head and onto paper. You can send me an email. We are in this together, and I am here to help you. Until next time, community changers, I will see you for our next video where we will go through these questions one by one in each series so that I can help you take your vision to community change so you can change lives and produce purpose. Until next time, peace.